You're lying in bed, just about to fall asleep, and suddenly, your leg tightens up. A sharp pain shoots through your calf, your muscle locks like steel, and for a few seconds you can't move, you can't breathe, you just endure. That's a leg cramp. For most people, it's just annoying. But for older adults, it can be a sign of something deeper. A signal that your body's internal wiring is running low on the essential nutrients that keep your muscles alive. And here's what most people get wrong. Leg cramps aren't just about stretching or drinking more water. They're about cellular health, how efficiently your muscles and nerves communicate with each other. Dr. Peter Attia, one of the world's leading experts on longevity, says it this way: if your cells can't do their job properly, it doesn't matter how active or motivated you are, your body will remind you. And that reminder often comes in the form of pain. But here's the good news. Science has identified 3 powerful foods that don't just stop cramps, they rebuild the foundation of your muscle function. These foods work so well because they restore the delicate balance of minerals and electrolytes that Dr. Attia calls the engine of muscular longevity. In this video, you'll learn which foods they are, how to use them every day, and what Peter Attia's research says about how they can help you move, sleep, and live better after 60. Stay until the end, because the third food we'll reveal might be sitting in your fridge right now, and it could change how your legs feel in just 24 hours. Most people believe leg cramps are caused by one thing, dehydration, but the truth is far more complex. According to longevity expert Dr. Peter Attia, cramps are not just about how much water you drink, but how your cells manage energy and communication. Every time your muscle contracts, billions of microscopic signals fire between nerves and muscle fibers. Those signals depend on a perfect balance of minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium. Think of your muscle as an orchestra. If even one instrument is out of tune, the entire performance collapses. Dr. Attia explains that as we age, 2 things start to happen inside our bodies. Our mitochondria, the engines of our cells, become less efficient. Our electrolyte balance becomes harder to maintain. That's the perfect storm for cramps. When mitochondria slow down, your muscles don't get enough ATP, the energy molecule that tells them when to contract and when to relax. Without enough ATP, your muscle can contract, but it struggles to release. That's why you wake up at night with a calf that feels like a knot of steel. The American Journal of Physiology found that older adults lose up to 30% of mitochondrial efficiency between ages 40 and 70, meaning their muscles fatigue faster and recover slower. Combine that with dehydration or low minerals, and you get the painful, unpredictable cramps that so many people over 60 experience. Dr. Attia often reminds his listeners, the body doesn't fail overnight. It fails slowly, molecule by molecule. That's why prevention is key. The solution isn't just more water, it's giving your cells what they need to function properly. And that begins with the foods you eat. In the next section, we'll reveal the first nutrient that Peter Attia and multiple studies identify as the cornerstone for healthy muscle relaxation, and how adding just 1 serving of it a day could make those midnight cramps disappear for good. If there's one nutrient that Peter Attia calls non-negotiable for muscle and nerve health, it's magnesium. Why? Because magnesium is the off switch for every muscle contraction in your body. When your muscles contract, calcium floods into the muscle cells, but it's magnesium that pushes it back out, allowing the muscle to relax. Without enough magnesium, the calcium stays trapped, and your muscles remain tense, rigid, and ready to cramp. Dr. Attia often says you don't need more strength, you need better recovery between contractions. And that recovery depends on magnesium. According to research from Harvard Medical School, about 68% of adults over 50 don't get enough magnesium from food alone. That deficiency quietly affects everything, from your heartbeat and nerve impulses to sleep quality and even insulin sensitivity. And here's the part most people miss. Magnesium isn't stored easily. You lose it every day through sweat, stress, and certain medications. That's why daily intake matters. The Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that older adults who consumed more magnesium had fewer muscle cramps, better sleep quality, and improved leg strength compared to those who didn't. So where can you get it naturally? Peter Attia recommends starting with food, not supplements, because food delivers magnesium in a bioavailable form that works synergistically with other minerals. Foods like spinach and kale, loaded with magnesium and antioxidants, almonds and cashews, great for a midday snack, avocados, rich in both magnesium and potassium, a perfect muscle combo. Try this. Add a handful of nuts or half an avocado to your breakfast every morning for 1 week and notice the difference. Your sleep improves, your legs feel lighter, and the night cramps start to fade. Why? Because you're not just feeding your stomach, you're fueling your muscle communication network. Dr. Attia explains it simply. Magnesium isn't about building muscle. It's about letting the muscle do its job without interference. And that's the foundation of healthy movement at any age. But magnesium is only one piece of the puzzle. There's another mineral that works hand in hand with it, one that powers every contraction your body makes. In the next section, we'll look at potassium and why Attia calls it the voltage that keeps your muscles alive. If magnesium is the off switch for your muscles, then potassium is the electric current that turns them on. Every movement you make, from lifting your foot to taking a deep breath, depends on potassium sending tiny electrical impulses through your nerves. Without enough potassium, that signal weakens, and when it weakens, your muscles spasm, twitch, and eventually cramp. Dr. Peter Attia calls potassium the silent voltage of longevity, because this mineral doesn't just help muscles move. It keeps your heart rhythm steady, your blood pressure balanced, and your nerves firing smoothly. According to Harvard Health Publishing, potassium and sodium act like partners. Sodium pulls water into your cells, and potassium pushes it out. The problem? Most modern diets are overloaded with sodium and desperately low in potassium. The World Health Organization recommends at least 3,500 milligrams of potassium a day. Yet studies show the average person over 60 barely reaches 2,000. That imbalance doesn't just cause cramps. It raises blood pressure, increases stiffness, and slows down the muscle's recovery cycle. Peter Attia often explains it this way. Think of your muscle as a battery. Without enough potassium, the charge doesn't hold. And when your muscle cells can't hold that charge, even simple tasks, like climbing stairs or stretching your legs in bed, feel heavier than they should. The good news? You can fix this faster than you think, and naturally. Here are some of the potassium-rich foods Dr. Attia recommends incorporating daily. Bananas, simple, fast, and portable. Sweet potatoes, rich in potassium, fiber, and slow-digesting carbs. Lentils and beans, double benefit, potassium and plant protein. Coconut water, a natural electrolyte drink with hydration power. Try combining potassium with magnesium-rich foods. For example, a smoothie with banana, spinach, and almond milk. It fuels your muscles with both nutrients in perfect balance. The Cleveland Clinic reports that older adults who consume high potassium diets have stronger muscle function and better coordination. They also show 20% fewer night cramps compared to those with low potassium intake. So yes, potassium is the voltage your muscles crave, but its power multiplies when combined with other key minerals. In the next section, we'll explore one more essential element of muscle longevity, the one that gives your body structure, balance, and energy, calcium. And you'll see why Dr. Attia calls it the most misunderstood nutrient in the entire conversation about aging well. When you think of calcium, the first thing that comes to mind is probably bones. But Dr. Peter Attia reminds us, calcium isn't just for your skeleton, it's for your movement. Every time a muscle contracts, calcium acts as the spark plug that starts the process. Here's how it works. When your brain sends a signal to move, calcium floods into the muscle cell, telling the fibers to contract. Then magnesium pushes that calcium out again, allowing the muscle to relax. This constant dance between calcium and magnesium is what keeps your body flexible, coordinated, and strong. But with age, calcium absorption drops dramatically, partly because of lower vitamin D levels and partly because of changes in gut health. The National Institutes of Health estimates that adults over 60 absorb 25% less calcium than they did in their 30s. That loss doesn't just weaken bones, it also affects your neuromuscular function, making cramps, stiffness, and slow recovery more common. Dr. Attia often talks about muscle-centric medicine, a concept that sees muscle not just as tissue, but as a vital organ for longevity. And calcium plays a leading role in that idea. Without enough calcium, your muscle fibers misfire. They can't contract efficiently, and the risk of imbalance and falls increases. The Cleveland Clinic reports that proper calcium intake helps maintain coordination and reflex speed, especially in older adults. But here's what's crucial. Calcium alone isn't the full story. It needs vitamin D and vitamin K2 to reach the right destinations in your body. Vitamin D helps absorb calcium into the bloodstream, while vitamin K2 directs it toward your bones and muscles, and away from your arteries. That's what Peter Attia emphasizes. Calcium without guidance can become a problem, but calcium with balance becomes power. So, what are the best sources? Greek yogurt, rich in calcium and probiotics for better absorption. Sardines, packed with calcium, omega-3s, and vitamin D. Fortified tofu or soy milk, ideal for plant-based diets. Leafy greens like kale or bok choy, for calcium with fiber. Try to get at least 2 servings daily. Not just for stronger bones, but for smoother, more responsive muscle movement. Because the truth is, your bones and muscles are one system, one structure working in harmony. When you feed them together, you move better, stand taller, and age with balance and control. And in the next section, we'll dive into the gut connection, how your digestion and microbiome determine whether these minerals actually reach your muscles at all. Here's a truth most people never think about. It doesn't matter what you eat. If your gut can't absorb it, your muscles will never feel the benefits. Dr. Peter Attia emphasizes this constantly. Longevity isn't just about what enters your mouth, it's about what makes it into your cells. The gut is not just a digestive tube, it's an intelligent system, a living network of bacteria, enzymes, and immune cells that decides what nutrients get absorbed and what gets discarded. When that system weakens, so does everything else. Poor gut health can block the absorption of magnesium, calcium, and potassium, the very minerals your muscles depend on to relax and move. The Cleveland Clinic explains that age-related changes in gut bacteria reduce the body's ability to extract nutrients from food. That means even if you eat the right foods, your body might still be starving at a cellular level. Dr. Attia calls this nutritional blindness, a state where your diet looks perfect on paper, but your cells never see the benefits. The good news? You can restore that balance by feeding your gut the way you feed your muscles. Start with probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics are the good bacteria that repair the intestinal lining. Prebiotics are the fibers that feed those bacteria and keep them alive. Together, they rebuild the gut barrier, the wall that protects your body from inflammation and helps absorb minerals efficiently. Harvard Health Publishing notes that improving gut diversity can boost nutrient absorption by up to 40% and reduce inflammation markers in older adults. So, what foods should you add? Yogurt or kefir, rich in probiotics for gut repair. Garlic, onions, and oats, natural prebiotics that feed healthy bacteria. Fermented foods like kimchi or sauerkraut, excellent for rebuilding microbial diversity. You don't need massive changes, just consistency. Peter Attia often says, "The body rewards what you do consistently, not occasionally." Eat a small serving of probiotic foods daily for 10 days, and you'll notice a shift. Lighter digestion, less bloating, better sleep, and even fewer cramps. Because when your gut heals, your entire body starts working in harmony again. And once that system is strong, every other nutrient, magnesium, potassium, calcium, finally reaches the muscles where they belong. In the next section, we'll explore the final piece of this longevity puzzle, hydration, the invisible conductor that keeps every system in sync. You can have perfect nutrition, but without hydration, nothing works. Water is the invisible conductor of every system in your body. Dr. Peter Attia explains it simply. Hydration is the medium of life. Every molecule that keeps you alive floats in it. That means your muscles, your heart, your brain all depend on water to deliver energy and clear waste. Every nerve impulse that tells your muscle to contract is carried through fluid. Every nutrient that reaches your cells travels through water. So when hydration drops, your energy drops, your performance drops, and your risk of cramps skyrockets. The Cleveland Clinic explains that even mild dehydration, just 1% of body weight lost in fluids, can cause the same level of fatigue as staying awake all night. And for adults over 60, that risk is even higher because the brain's thirst sensors become less responsive with age. You might think you're fine, but your cells are already starving for water. Dr. Attia often says, dehydration is the quiet thief of longevity. It doesn't strike instantly. It builds up slowly, robbing your muscles of efficiency and your brain of clarity. But there's a way to fix it, intelligently. Instead of chugging gallons of plain water, focus on hydration balance, replacing both fluids and electrolytes. That's what Attia calls strategic hydration. Here's how it works. For every glass of water, add a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon. This restores sodium and potassium balance. Drink slowly, not all at once. This allows your kidneys and cells to absorb what they need. And don't wait until you're thirsty. Thirst means you're already behind. The American Heart Association notes that proper hydration reduces night cramps by up to 60%. And improves blood flow during exercise. Try to get at least 2 to 2.5 liters of water daily, more if you're active or live in a warm climate. But hydration isn't just physical, it's neurological. Studies from Stanford University show that even slight dehydration reduces nerve conduction speed by 15%, meaning your muscle reaction time slows down. That's why older adults who hydrate consistently often notice they move faster, think sharper, and sleep better. Hydration keeps your body's electricity alive. It's what connects every mineral, every muscle, every heartbeat. So if you want fewer cramps, more energy, and longer health, remember this simple rule from Peter Attia. Don't drink water to survive. Drink it to perform. And up next, we'll bring everything together, the minerals, the food, the hydration, and the habits, into one simple formula that you can follow daily to rebuild strength, balance, and longevity. If you've made it this far, you already understand something most people never realize. Leg cramps aren't random. They're your body's way of asking for balance. Balance between movement and rest, between nutrition and hydration, between what you eat and what your cells actually receive. And that's what longevity expert Dr. Peter Attia calls the longevity formula. It's not a magic pill, it's a pattern, a rhythm between science and self-care. So let's bring it all together. Step 1. Nourish the muscle. Feed your cells the minerals they crave, magnesium to relax, potassium to power, calcium to stabilize. Get them from real food, not powders or pills. Food is information your body understands. Step 2. Strengthen your foundation. Heal your gut so it can deliver those nutrients where they belong. Add probiotics, prebiotics, and fermented foods to keep your internal ecosystem alive and diverse. Step 3. Hydrate with intention. Remember what Dr. Attia says. Hydration is not about volume, it's about precision. Balance your water with electrolytes. Drink consistently. Let your body stay in rhythm, not in crisis. Step 4. Move daily. Even gentle movement, walking, stretching, light resistance, improves circulation and keeps minerals flowing to your muscles. The American Journal of Physiology found that adults who move at least 30 minutes a day have 40% fewer nighttime cramps and higher muscle oxygenation levels. Step 5. Be consistent. Because your body doesn't change in a day. It changes through repetition, through the choices you make every single morning. Peter Attia often reminds his patients, health isn't built in intensity, but in consistency. That's the true key to longevity. The goal isn't just to stop cramps. It's to move with freedom, sleep with peace, and wake up feeling capable, even after 60. Because when your muscles work in harmony, your whole body does too. So start small. Drink that extra glass of water. Add greens to your breakfast. Take a short walk after dinner. Those tiny steps don't just reduce cramps, they rewrite the story of how you age. And if this video helped you understand your body better, share it with someone you care about. Because everyone deserves to know that aging doesn't mean losing strength. It means learning how to protect it. This is the science of longevity, and it starts with you.